Okay, some technical difficulties, but we'll try to recover quickly. Sorry about that. Welcome. It's Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Craftin, coming to you on Wednesday, July 2nd. Sorry for all the bouncing around. My stream interrupted, and I'm not sure exactly why. So, I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, coming to you from Wisconsin, and I'm going to do the same stamp set that I used last night, but I'm also going to give a quick little plug for the virtual album retreat. Isn't this cute? I love these little hands. So anyway, memory keeping, we've got a virtual album retreat coming up, and that is July 16th, 17th, and 18th. This kit is amazing. You get everything you need to make 12 two-page spreads, and everything is pre-cut. All of the little pieces for every spread are pre-cut. You get 2 exclusive stamp sets. It is called the month-by-month virtual album, and or the month-by-month kit. Yeah, month-by-month album retreat. All right. So I will be hosting, if you're local to me, I will be hosting either live or replay at some point, because if you purchase the kit, you will have access to the private Facebook group and the private YouTube group to do replays. So that's my plug for the virtual album retreat. If you're interested in that, please let me know and I will get you more information. It's coming up quick. So I'm getting excited for it. I've got my kit and it's loaded with fun stuff. So these are the 2 cards that I did last night with a little help from my participating watchers, those that joined me live yesterday. We kind of collaborated to get these where they're at. I think they turned out really cute. So this is the set. This is brand new, Prairie Grass. And I like things that are very realistic looking when it comes to nature things. So this is right up my alley. So I'm going to set these off to the side, and I'm just going to pop in a few of the other things that I'm using. So I'm going to use all 3 of these stamps. I'm not going to use a sentiment from here. I'm going to use this one, Far Away But Close at Heart. This is the Tags to Go. This is a really cute suite of products as well. I didn't use the dies, but there's some fun little dies there as well. I am using the mini corrugated 3D embossing folder. I am using a little piece of the Celebratory Sips Designer Series paper. These are pretty fun, and I'm not using the drink sides. I am using this piece here. And let me get these out of the way. I'm also using the Stylish Shapes dies. I'm just using this circle here. It's the 3rd one. And I'm also going to use one of the rectangles from the Nested Essentials dies. And I used the 2nd to the largest one. All right, so let's get some of our things ready. I've got this stamp ready, and we're actually going to use just a very small portion of this. We'll see what part kind of lines up. I think what we'll end up doing is something like this. This is the void. I'm using 3 of these circles, and we're going to stamp a little bit with a couple of different colors. So let's just do that a little bit. And I just realized that I need another piece for the sentiment. So we'll do that in a minute. All right, so let's go ahead and find a little piece of scrap paper as well. I'll kind of use that as a mask or backdrop here. So I am going to use BlackBerry Bliss for our grassiness. All right. And what I want to do is, I don't want to stamp in the dotted line part. So I thought what I would do is just kind of cover it up a little bit at the bottom. And we're going to use that. And that didn't turn out how I wanted it to turn out. That's unfortunate. Maybe we'll use this one for the bottom one and we can put the sentiment over that. Otherwise I'll cut another one. Maybe we'll just put some more grass on here and we'll stamp over those dots after all. And then I have a halo on there. So I'm not going to be happy with that one. We'll cut another one of those and we'll try that again. So let's try this one. Maybe I need to just stamp off. My ink pad is really juicy. So we'll do that. And I probably don't need my piercing mat because I've got the foam on there already. That's kind of nice. And then let's go ahead and let's figure out here. I'm going to get rid of this because this is just kind of going to be in the way, I think. I did not plan ahead what I wanted to make tonight. I just had some ideas in my head. So let's just see where this takes us here. If we do this, maybe there-ish. Let's see what that looks like underneath. Oh, that'll be pretty. Too bad I didn't do that on the real one, right? Let's see if we can do this again. So I kind of did it right around there. And we'll just do it again. So we did, I guess this part showed up, right? All of that. We'll go here. We'll see how it looks. It probably won't look as good as the first time. But I am happy with that. All right, so the only thing I need to do then is fix this one. I'm not really quite happy with that. So we've got like the cattails, and this was just supposed to be some fun grass. And I'm having just a rough night. I smudged the ink a little bit on there because it is super juicy. So let me get my mini cut and emboss machine out here. And I'll wipe that up better later. And we're going to cut a couple more circles. I probably should have cut a few more right off the bat, but I didn't. I didn't think I would need them. In my head, things were working out just fine. I need a smaller one. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp it first and then punch it out, or die cut it rather. I think that will work better. That looks much better. And then this one, we're going to go over on this side, and hopefully I won't smudge that side. We'll let that dry a little bit better this time. So let me clean up my glass mat. You know, when I start out my session with some technical difficulties, it kind of throws you off, you know? All right. So now what we can do is go ahead and die cut these. And I'm going to close up this ink just so that I don't have a problem. And then here what we could do is, I wonder if this sentiment, oh look at that, that'll work. I'm going to stamp it on this side, and we're going to recut that circle. And this might turn out just fine after all. All right. So this was the color palette. When I used BlackBerry Bliss, the color code shows one of the options would be Berry Burst and Old Olive. And those all together actually look pretty good together. But when I put the colors together here, I'm not quite so thrilled with it. So my plan is to ditch this. I'm going to ditch the Berry Burst, all right? And we're just going to go with these two colors. I'm happier with that. So we're just going to pretend that we're only using two colors instead of three. Well, we're not going to pretend. We're just going to skip that second color. So that's what we're going to do there. So let me get these stamps out of the way so that I don't smudge anything else. And then let's go ahead and die cut our sentiment. That ought to work. And when I do my die cutting, if you've crafted with me before, I like to offset my plates. So I either stagger them, base, first cutting plate, second cutting plate, or I'll do my base, I'll move a plate back, and then I'll put another plate up at the top. So these are all beveled, but if I have all three here, it's harder to go through the machine. So if you do it with just two, it has a better success rate without having to fight too hard. So I'm going to use just a little piece of washi tape to hold this kind of where I want it. All right. So we'll put this through. I'm happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and just put this die on my magnet, and I'll put it away later. And then we're going to cut this one again because I smudged that one. I'm not happy with that. So we're going to cut these apart here so they fit in the machine. These can only be 3 inches or less. All right. So my other plate is right here. And I like to label one of my plates as the top plate. So all the cutting gets put on my bottom plate, and when it wears out or I'm just not happy with it, like I can't see through it anymore, it might still work, but I'm just not happy with how many ridges are in it, I'll get rid of just the bottom plate, and then my top plate will become my bottom plate, and then I'll just replace one plate at a time. So I'm going to get rid of that piece. And then this one, here we go. We're going to go like so. And we'll just put that, maybe we'll go like that. I kind of like it with the thicker base of grass. And again, we'll see how this works out. What's in my head might not come down on paper to be very, very nice looking. So we'll just see what happens. All right, get some of our debris out of the way. I think that's all the cutting I'll need to do. This is one I'm getting, that's for the sentiment. This will probably end up being on dimensionals. I'm not sure which one of these I'll have on dimensionals. But here are the pieces that I thought we would put together now. And lay these out kind of randomly. Now that piece of designer series paper has a a hashed design on it, but I put it through that mini corrugated embossing folder because I like texture, and I think that just even made it better. I think it just brought it up a step, brought it up a notch. So we're going to use our card base. This is BlackBerry Bliss, and I've got an 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at 4 1/4. And this piece, I think I just have it 4 by 5 1/4. Yeah. So I just cut that as kind of a standard layer size. And let's go ahead and glue that on. The back of this is really pretty too, even with the corrugated. I might have to use that for another card. I have a fun fold that I started looking at for these with a trio of the grasses, and I started prepping it, and then I thought I was ready to go for this live, and I thought, oh my goodness, time got away from me again, as it often does. And I did not finish that one for tonight, so maybe I'll do that one tomorrow. I need to get this there. So the beauty of having the liquid, multi-purpose liquid glue is that I can shift things around when I need to, if I haven't laid them out quite right. All right, so these are going to go like so. And then maybe we'll put these up a little higher. Actually, maybe we'll do that, because that one has a little place where it didn't stamp as dark. This is the one where I stamped off. So I think we'll maybe put those on a rectangle together. What do you think of that? I think that's kind of fun. I love these grasses. So then I just need to figure out if I want to do some kind of embellishment on there. I could do these antique pearls. I wonder if I did it in Berry Burst, if that would give it a neat pop of color. Let me get my alcohol blends. Let's just color a few of these and see how that looks. Now I'm using more the side of the brush than the tip of the brush, because I don't want to break the tip of my alcohol blend marker. We'll see. I'm not sure, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start gluing these down, and we'll see how it looks all put together. And I like these things kind of balanced, so my margins are pretty close here. This is my favorite grass piece, that big stamp. And this one I'm going to put up on dimensionals. Yeah, that'll work. And then I'll have this one up over here. Maybe we'll move that there. That way the margins will be kind of close. All right, and then this one, we'll put some dimensionals around these three sides. And I should probably do that now so I don't get distracted and put them in the wrong place. I don't want them here on this corner because then I'll have double dimensionals and I don't want to have to add extra postage. All right, so those will go there. So if we do this, and then these will be kind of together. So let's put a little glue on here. This is the side I messed up on. I had a little halo on there, a little too much ink. And I'm covering up just that little bit of stamped off that didn't go quite as planned. And now we can put some liquid glue on there. I usually don't use a very heavy layer of the liquid glue, but I do like to spread it around the entire shape. All right, so I think that looks pretty good. I felt like it, yep, it did shift a little bit. It wasn't quite set. All right. Colleen Casey. Oh, I'm glad you got that card. I thought it would have been there by now. So it was kind of, what was the postmark from the United States on that? Do you have the envelope? I don't remember what day I mailed that. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. And I don't know, did I put, I might have had my mailing address on there, but I can send that to you if it wasn't on there. So let's see what these look like. Well, I'm glad you liked the card, Colleen. That was the idea. That was one that I think we were working on. And I think what I want to do is I want to attach this down because it's too loose. So I'm going to put just a little dab of glue under here because we didn't put that dimensional under there. I wasn't thinking about that corner needing. Whoops, wrong cap. I didn't think about that corner needing some security. All right, so let's take a look at these and see what we think of the berry burst. Actually, that is kind of fun. Oops, that glue dot came off of there. There we go. I think that the berry burst is kind of fun. What do you think? So it took a month to get to you. Wow. A little over a month. All right, then the last thing I'll do with this is I will put, I think, a layer of Old Olive in here. Probably not the DSP because it's going to be mostly covered. And I will put in a white insert. And I will probably stamp this. Maybe I'll stamp it off. Let's try that and just see how it looks. I have a piece of white cardstock here. Let me cut it down a little bit. So if we do, hold on. 4 3 3/4, I think. I'm gonna do this. 1 2 3 3.5. Struggling with the math tonight. So let's do, this is the brand new Prairie Grass. It just released yesterday, July 1st. This one became available. And then the sentiment, Colleen, is this one here from the Tags to Go suite. And I used for the shapes then, I've got, and I think I put it in all in the description on here as well, but this is the Nested Essential dies. I used the circle from the Stylish Shapes dies and the mini corrugated embossing folder. And then this piece of Old Olive is from the Celebratory Sips DSP. But I love the grasses on here. Let me grab that again. I just love the realistic grasses that are on there. So let's move this off to the side. I'm kind of happy with that Berry Burst and that color palette. Colleen, I think if you came in late, the BlackBerry Bliss from the Color Coach. It's got BlackBerry Bliss, Berry Burst, and Old Olive. And when I put these card pieces on the Berry Burst, I didn't really like it. It just didn't talk to me. So I decided to just go with the BlackBerry Bliss instead. And we were going to leave the Berry Burst out of it, but I kind of like the Berry Burst embellishments there. I think that kind of works. And I brought in my blending brushes because I thought, well, maybe I might do something with those circles, but I kind of like them with the bright pop there. And this could be a masculine or a feminine card. It wouldn't really matter. So I want to stamp this off. And I want to see, so if I do it a third time, I think I want the third time for here, because if I want to put another sentiment inside, let's see how that looks. So let's do one with it stamped off once, and then we'll do another one with it stamped off the second time. So there's stamped off once. We're going to do this one here, and I'm using my grid lines on my glass mat a little bit here. We're going to put this on here. So this is just stamped off once. That's pretty. And let's stamp it off a second time and see which one would be better for an insert. So I think this would be better, although I did get a little smudge on there. And I don't think I'm going to worry about that, quite honestly, because I don't think whoever I give it to is really going to be worried about that too much. So let's get this out of the way. So then, or I could always trim it down a little smaller too. That could work. So if I get Old Olive, I could have done like a kissing technique. This is just going to be too dark when I want to write on it. I think this will be fine if I want to do a sentiment inside. All right. So if I put a layer of Old Olive, let's do 4 by 5 1/4 and see how that looks. So I need that smaller. So we'll take a 1/4 inch off of each of these. We'll just go down incrementally, a little bit at a time. So now we're at 5 by 3 3/4. That'll work. So this would be the inside. And that would be the front. Far away but close at heart. And I'll find something for the inside that says like, I miss you or something. I have somebody in mind that I can send this to. But I'll stamp that sentiment on there. And maybe I don't know. I'm not happy with that little edge there, so I might end up redoing it. And there's ink there, so I can't use the back of this. All right, Colleen, thanks for popping in. Go get your kids, drive safely. And that's about it anyway. That's a wrap. I'll finish this inside later. I'll find a sentiment that I like that says something like, I miss you, or something like that. And we'll get it sent off. So that's what I have for tonight. I will, when I finish whatever I want to do on the inside, I'll take a picture of both the inside and the full card. I will post it on my Facebook page as well, Lori's Little Bit of Craftin. So you can see it there if this inspires you to make something. If you've got this set, or if maybe you want to purchase this set if you don't have a demonstrator, if you're in the United States, I would love for you to shop with me. My store is laurimacari.stampinup.net. I'd love to have you as a customer and to help you with your creativity needs. So until next time, happy crafting.